Hi, this is Boris Vallejo, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
Hello everybody, my name is Ian Taylor and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness. With me as always is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards. Would you look at the state of him? Up all night, dancing, partying, and generally being a floozy of the highest order. It's Norrin Rad.
Yeah, it's true.
I wanted to use the word floozy.
I've been called a floozy.
No one uses the word... I don't doubt it. No one uses the word floozy enough.
No, I think it should come back. I think it should come back.
In fact, dear listeners, welcome to the episode. Our third of 2023. I challenge each of you in the next week to use the word floozy in everyday conversation, either at work or at home. Be careful if it's in the latter because you might get a slap.
Yep. I know who's the biggest floozy of them all.
Do tell.
His initials are TP.
Tony Perner.
No,
Radish.
I didn't say that. That's messed up, Ian.
No, Radish.
How dare you call it Radish?
No, Tony Perner Tony Perner is a floozy. He's an absolute floozy. He's a dirty. He's a dirty hoe. So welcome. So first of all, I'm just going to say it's going to a few weeks late by the time this episode will drop. Actually, no, it's only about 10 days late. Anyway, happy birthday. 82, I believe, recently, Boris Vallejo, hence him being at the top of this episode. So I got to say, he looks good on it because that would have made him either 79 or 80 when we spoke to him for our 50th episode.
He looked good,
and I would honestly not pegged him for being 80.
No, not at all.
Must be those Peruvian genes.
Living the dream there.
He is.
You're gonna post a Boris card then.
But which actually reminds me, you and I don't know, I wasn't planning to talk about this on the episode, but I'm going to anyway. So, we recently both picked up, and I don't think have you received yours yet? Those Peruvian, is it a sticker or a card?
It's a sticker. So if I'm thinking of, it's the one that says like CRO something on it. Is that the one?
Yeah, I think so. It's the one that we both. I think I found them when I was trawling through something, and who knows how long it'll take to get there. Let me find it on my eBay
let me see if it's the same one we're talking about. I think it is.
It is, and I will hold it up to the camera just for ease. Once I find it, it's on its way to me from. There we go. On the way to me.
Oh, those.
Yes. So Legata Negra, and that's Dodson artwork. And on the back, it's number 12 in the series. And nice.
I don't have mine yet.
No. I imagine yours will possibly arrive before mine, given I think the US is closer to Peru than the UK, but who knows?
Yeah, mine has Surfer on it, and it's card number 19, and the artwork's by Michael Turner.
Michael Turner does good stuff.
He does great stuff. I have the shirt that features this artwork.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You liked it so much you bought the T-shirt.
Well, it was like, I usually don't buy apparel. I got to hit up Donnie. Donnie's the best, man. I love that guy. Cartwright, the best. Super nice guy. But I don't know how or when this came up that I got that. And then on the back of the card, the artwork is Delotto. And then there's another one as well, and I think it's Buscema. I can't tell. Looks like Buscema. But so no, I mean, it was at a store. The shirt was there. It's first. Anytime I see Surfer like in a store or anything like that, I just buy it because I'm like, this is cool. You never see the character anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like Spider-Man. You see him everywhere.
Yeah, but I rarely see Black Cat. I don't think I've ever seen a T-shirt with it on.
No, I've never seen. I don't see any Black Cat stuff, honestly. Maybe like. Wasn't she part of that like superhero squad toy thing? I feel like I saw Surfer there.
Back in the noughties? Superhero squad?
No. This was like she became like Spider-Man and Friends. Wasn't she like part of Spider-Man?
Spidey Friends is modern. Sorry, Superhero Squad was back in the kind of 2008.
No. Yeah.
Although I think Black Cat was in that. No,
I feel like I see her in those things sometimes. As
no,
like a guest.
she's new. She's in series 2 of Spidey Friends.
Cool.
But she looks completely. I mean, they all look completely different because they've all been really like younged down.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: Upper Deck. I know a particular 7-year-old in this house who would love a Spidey Friends set, not a blockbuster like high-priced Spidey Friends set. You know, something kind of pitched at Spider-Verse kind of level would be nice. Yeah, you know, for kids, especially
it's
if it
the
came in
kids.
glass.
It was the kids.
Call me Mr. Glass.
They call me Mr. Glass.
Why do we always go back to that one?
I don't know, man. I always think about that. Correct.
But yes, no, she would absolutely love that. You know what? We're going to build some Lego in a minute as well.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, we are. We're going to build some Lego in a minute. When I say in a minute, it'll probably be like an hour and a half's time. But welcome. So we are. This is the 3rd episode, and I think it will be the last episode of our State of the Hobby kind of kickoff for the year. And if you've heard the last 2 episodes, you'll know that we've had a bit of a community deep dive into how everyone's feeling. You know, there's some people quitting, there's some people trimming back. We talked about, you know, how people adapt to the kind of the hobby it is now compared to how it was a couple of years ago. And all this started because I was doing those 5 phases of collecting, which I'm going to repeat just because I like it. And I'm really keen to hear where people pitch themselves on this, because some people have commented and say, I think I'm on phase 3 or, you know, or phase 2 or something like that. So we've had some really good feedback. So this was me jotting down something apropos of nothing just over Christmas when you've got a bit of downtime and you start daydreaming and staring out the window and there's birds singing and all that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I jotted down this cycle of collecting, or that a collector goes through. So phase 1, discovery, in parentheses, and overreaching, question mark. Phase 2, more discovery and realignment. Phase 3, reduction and finessing. Phase 4, contented curation. And phase 5, rediscovery, because you know some people
it's a cycle.
They're doing cycles. Some people only do one run and they drop out before phase 5. Some people do phases 1 and 2 and then crash and burn, you know. So
I think always the biggest problem after phase 4, after phase 2, is that people think like there comes the idea, it's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and corner this, or I'm going to, you know what I mean? That kind of strategy. Yeah. And just to realize that it's just the tip of the iceberg. You know what I mean? Like those moves are so rare and so difficult to do. And,
I know. But I'm most assuredly in, I would say I've got a foot in phase 3 and phase 4 at the moment. And I've always got my head into phase 5 because it's just like, I've learned stuff. Today I learned stuff. What did I learn today? There's a case topper with Black Cat on that I need to track down. So that I wasn't aware of. So I need to add it to my master checklist. So yeah, it's always a first day at school in this hobby. But we've had some really good feedback. I think you've had some as well directly.
Yeah.
On the first episode, especially of State of the Hobby and End of the Year, about quiet quitting and people kind of bailing and the pressures that they were kind of feeling, and in particular our kind of feelings about market manipulators and things like that. So I didn't actually look up any of that feedback to read out. Let me just quickly dive onto our YouTube, because we've had some brilliant comments.
I did get something that I think you would find interesting, and I wanted to tell you on air to see how you feel about this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad feedback, but it kind of blew me away because I didn't think about it like this.
Okay.
And I hope it doesn't make me sound naive or childish or stupid.
Okay.
But the idea that you and I are actually influencers, I hadn't thought about it like that. Someone pointed that out.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess you're right. I mean, I certainly don't think of myself in those terms.
See, neither did I. So like when they told me, I was kind of like taken back. So I wanted to know your response too, because I was kind of like, not really.
I don't know, really. I mean, it's certainly not something I aspire to be. I mean, I my number one goal is for this is just for us to share our kind of journey through the hobby, discover stuff together in terms of new and old stuff, and hopefully to help people out. I mean, that's been the overriding goal, is to like reflect what people are talking about and help them, you know.
That's beautiful. And those are beautiful goals. And I do think, if I can be completely honest, I do think there are some people who get the title influencer who do the same thing. And it is the same thing. I don't know what it is, but I've always thought about us more like documenting. I never thought of it as.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know
what
I mean? I don't know
absolutely.
why. I, especially with like the guest and the things we do. But I think it's an interesting thing that, you know, these people pointed out to me, which I appreciate a lot, because it is true and it should be said. So there's no confusion. But like the idea that anytime you do anything publicly or recorded or this, we do, you are, by the effect of what you're doing, influencing someone else to participate.
I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know. For me, like an influencer, it's hard to make that a bad word, because there are influencers who are great people, you know, people I like a lot, who I don't think do it out of malice. And then I think the name gets a bad name sometimes when people are, you know, bought by people who are collecting, or bought by companies, or, you know, told to have certain subject matters and stuff like that, or products. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sponsoring products or anything like that. I guess that's what I thought about an influencer when you're at that level, because we're not really sponsored by anybody.
No one's offered us any cash for anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether we take
at least nothing show related.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I did call one of us was called a floozy at the top of the episode. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. Okay.
All I'm saying. So I'm just going to read one, actually, because he asked a really good. There's been some great. I mean, we had the most comments of part one. In fact, part two, State of the Hobby Part 2, as I look at it now, unusually hasn't had any comments whatsoever as yet. It's been up 3 days as I sit here, which I thought was interesting. Plenty of people watching it and digging it, but no comments. But the first part of State of the Hobby had loads of comments. And one of them was a question from a guy who goes by the handle Off-White Tim. So I'm really keen to kind of, if people ask us stuff on these comments, to actually bring them, you know, to this, so that we can talk about them and hopefully other people can hear it. So Off-White Tim commented that this was a great listen, really enjoyed it. I do have a question in light of the current state of the hobby and being mindful to others. How should we go about purchasing a card or piece we really want that seems to be overpriced after consulting with whom I consider serious collectors, when 1, the card is a low number parallel, and 2, without pushing up the market price for others in the hobby?
So my rule of thumb, and I guess the question is like, how do I make a decision on if I should purchase something like that? That's low number. So here's my thing that I've learned. I think there's 2 things, right? The major thing is you got to figure out what kind of player you are. If you're the person who can play with $2,000 or $3,000, then that's a different player than someone who can play with $500. And then that's a different player who can play with $10,000. You know what I mean?
Or 50.
Or 50, which can just get, you know, there's quite a bit of, in my experience, you can tell who's willing to pay what, depending on how long they've been in the hobby. A lot of people who've been in the hobby for a long time look at prices as stuff, and, you know, they think to themselves it's garbage to pay that kind of money for those things, because they've been around, they've seen the release when it first came out, they understand prices. Things do get crazy. People do spend money on things, and things do increase in value way past any expectation I had for them originally. And, you know, Ian, and those are real things sometimes, but, you know, sometimes they're real things. You know, you have to be careful. But in my experience as a character collector, I will say this: anything that's below a 10, if it's in my range of play, I don't mess around. because once it gets, I had a friend collector tell me this, a very big collector tell me this, and he's always been right. Infuriating, but he's always been right. And he told me anything lower than 10 is hard to find more than 2 or 3 times. In my experience, depending on the character, of course. But in my experience, anything lower than 10 gets really difficult to find at one point, especially if you bought something that someone. And most of the times it happens because when you get past 10 or past 30 or past 50, what ends up happening is that not only character collectors are looking at those depending on the character, but you're looking at set collectors, and you're also looking at people who are looking to stockpile, which is why they vanish. And there are people out there stockpiling, so be aware of that. Stacking. My boy stacking gems, killing it. I love that guy. What a trip. But there are a lot of people stacking. People who don't talk about stacking are stacking. Just so people know, it's not.
There's one card I'm stacking, but I'm not going to talk about it.
I'm not going to see everyone stacks. Yeah. But like, and it's fun. It's fun to do, especially if you're the person who believes in the card, likes the card, and has a good time. You know, that makes sense. And most people who are stacking cards are not like going to try to like block someone out of a set who's like needs one extra card.
There's plenty of this card around. I just want to get a consecutive numbered run because it pleases me. Cool.
No, I think it's fun. I know a lot of good people who give cards up to sets when people need it and stuff like that. So it's not always doom and gloom. But suggestion would be find the person collecting the set if you are thinking about that. You know what I mean? And then if you can't find it, you know, be open with somebody. But if you are thinking about buying it and it's in your range of play and it's 10 or lower, it might be worth the grab. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a card that you really want. So basically the key points is if it's a card that he really wants and it seems to be overpriced after consulting other people. I think, and then you've got the factor of it's a low number parallel. So I think pushing up the market price for others in the hobby, that's notable. But I think you're fighting too many fires then at the end of the day.
100%.
So I think, listen, if it's a low number parallel, I guess as Norrin says, it depends how many numbers, you know, out of how many it is. The one thing I will say is that everything comes around again. So it depends how patient you're going to be.
This is true
because the problem is, and I guess this talks to the pushing up the market price aspect, is if you do pay it, then that person has gotten away with setting that price because you've proved there's a market price for it. Do you see what I mean? So I guess there's that. Then there's the other aspect of it, is if you really, really want it, and you can afford it, nail it, put it in the bag that says done, and then move on. And don't look in your rearview mirror
and don't regret it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Like if you make the decision, don't obsess about it. Put it away, forget you even bought it. And then in 2-3 weeks, look at your cards again and you'll be like, I'm glad I grabbed it. I don't even care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are things I overpaid on. Plenty of things I've overpaid on. But like once it's done, there is a sense of relief about it. In my experience. Yeah.
So Tim, really good question. Thank you for that.
Great question.
We had other comments and questions, and I've had some Twitter stuff come through as well, but I'm not going to do all that this week because we've had some really cool Twitter stuff comes. Considering I've not done anything on Twitter for like a month now because we've kind of bailed on it because it's too much. So basically, what we asked for this final kind of, I think it's going to be final. I was going to try and do 2, but I think they actually roll into 1 because we asked people what their goals were for this year, for 2023, but also what advice they'd have for anyone new. So you remember back on episodes, really low numbers, we did Cards 101. So I guess this is kind of an update to that, I guess, really.
That's exciting.
With everyone else pulling into it. But so goals. And people kind of commented in both lenses. They commented what their goals were, and then they added some advice. And I actually split them out on my lists here, but then I realized we're going to do the same episode, so I'm going to be scrolling a lot because I've got them in 2 different sections on my notes. Anyway, Jonathan Currens, Australian friend, great guy. Happy New Year's all. By the time people hear this, we'll be like 3 weeks into the year. What's the statute of limitations on saying Happy New Year? February?
I mean, it's the new year for like a year. So I think you can go all the way to the end.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not new anymore by the time you get to the end. At what point does the year get old? See what I mean? Or just like neither, middle-aged.
That's so dark. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, let this be the year of the collectors. Amen, brother. Collecting goal for 2023. Acquire more Thanos and Mystique goodies. He's got a killer collection of Thanos and Mystique stuff. He really has. Jonathan Cohen's.
Oh, Cohen's. Oh, yeah. God, sorry.
Yeah, did I not say?
You did say it. I blanked. I'm sorry. Cohen's great, man. Yeah. Great,
lovely guys. Then he's gone on to advice to newbies to send all Thanos and Mystique cards my way.
Good man. Good man.
Choice. Then he's gone, jokes aside, I highly recommend getting to know your fellow collectors. That's brilliant advice. It is why we started, in the midst of all the crazy last year and the year before. The one thing that came out of that was us saying to people, if you're coming into the group, if you're coming into the community, introduce yourself. And so we on both groups, we said it's not a mandatory thing, but we said, please make your first post an introduction post. And the number of cool stories and people that have stuck around because they, people get to know them a bit and they start building that network and that community is absolutely brilliant.
That's the way to do it though. So, why you know what I mean? That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I remember us talking about it and suggesting that, and I was like, it only makes sense. I mean, that's
it's made such a difference.
What I did.
It's made such a difference. I
first got into the social realm of it. You know what I mean? And it's done me well.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good idea. Jake Tweedy. Great name, Jake Tweedy. Jake Tweedy's in the UK. In fact, I think he's in Scotland. Don't hold that against him. I know that because I mailed him my not complete Avengers. It's a complete set of the first Avengers movie cards. I'm just quite relieved to be sending it to someone in the UK because it was quite a heavy binder. It's a big set. It's about 180 cards.
It's a massive set.
It's a big set. I remember. Yeah, it's a big set. Anyway, collecting goal. Continue with my MCU collection, slowly but surely building it up. Ideally want to reach most base sets completed by the end of 2023. Well, he's off to a good start. It's one thing that people don't realize. This is why I bailed on it, because of the volume of sets. There are so many MCU sets now. I mean, there's obviously one for each movie, but some movies have more than one. Lot. And then there's some that kind of are bigger, like Marvel Studios' first 10 years, for example, that covers multiple films. And these are, some of these sets are not inconsiderable in terms of their size. And then you've got all the chase sets. It depends how deep you're going into it. I don't get the impression he's going into the parallels. And with the early MCU sets, you didn't have those parallels. They're more of a kind of an e-pack.
Still reaching almost like 200 cards in a few of them.
200 cards. And then you think 20, 30 sets easily now. It's a lot. And is he including X-Men? Some of the Hulk movies that weren't, officially MCU. Yeah. There's X-Men, where do you draw that line? I mean, I've started to veer into relic cards from non-MCU films. Like I got my first one from the X-Men films. That one I showed you, a Cyclops.
Yeah, the leather one. Yeah,
X. From Tops, from '99. And if I see them cheap, I'll pick them up. But I'm not, I'm not steering directly for them. But no, Jake's on a mission, I tell you, and he's got some good advice as well. Enjoy it, no matter what tangent your collecting may take you on. Embrace it and just enjoy collecting cards. And it's kind of like we could almost end the episode there, really. See you next time.
I think people get too. I'm guilty of it too, man. You become tunnel vision. And it doesn't matter until it's complete type of thing. And you forget how to enjoy the journey of finding this stuff and discovering things. I agree. Yeah. Completely.
Ron Cedar didn't come in with any goals, but he said advice, collect what you most enjoy and you will not feel disheartened if prices go down. That's an interesting one. Because I know people who've got buyer's remorse all over the place because they FOMO'd. They FOMO'd. And then
they majorly FOMO'd. I mean, and it's fun to be part of a movement. And when people are cracking boxes, it's a lot of fun to do that kind of stuff. It gets very what happened recently to me. Fred Ian's Rogue Marvel Unbound came up, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy 1 pack. And I instantly regretted
I didn't know this, really.
I know. I instantly regretted it because, like, I mean, you know, it's I love Fred and Ian. They're great. And the Rogue was beautiful. But I did it not because I wanted the card, because like later on I could pick up the card in the trade or ComC or stuff like that. But it was just, I was like, okay, I'll try. Let's see what comes up. See if I get lucky with anything. And I hate that feeling of that lotto ticket kind of suspense.
Yeah.
Hate that. And I got caught up in it. I was like, damn, those posts he makes and shows us like the great progress work and all that stuff. Killed it. It was so good. And I was just like, okay, I'll try. But everyone's enjoying that set and doing great. It's hard for me to like go through those emotions over and over again. I don't know. I'm just not that type of collector. But no, it happens to me too. You see everyone's vibe. You get excited.
You do. You absolutely do. I'm sitting out Unbound too. No disrespect to Fred and Ian, but
not at all. Killed it. Absolutely killed that set.
I just don't have the cash all the time to be jumping on it every week, so I'll pick it up afterwards. You know.
Yeah, but that's the same with me. I'm just like, I don't have the cash for it.
Yeah, which touches on Ron's second thing that he said, which was appreciate the art, enjoy, and have patience with the journey. So, you know, I'll get the Unbound set. I just won't be buying it from primary.
Patience, man.
I'll pick it up down the road.
Patience is the game.
Patience is the game. It reminded me of my doctor's surgery had a thing on the wall when I was a kid. Be a patient.
Oh, that's nice.
It's quite nice that, because it's two meanings of the word patient.
Yeah, that's good. Be a patient.
Yeah, and it's I love it. Nice. I love it. Same word, different meaning.
I love that.
English funny like that.
I love that.
It's crazy.
Language as a whole is just ridiculously interesting.
Language as a whole is just Sahaftig Wimish Kuktahaven.
Oh my God, what's that?
It's Vulcan from Star Trek 3.
That's really Vulcan. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
I know most of the lines of Star Trek 2 and 3 off by heart because I just watched them so many times.
That's so cool. Oh, that's cool.
Anyway,
that's so funny.
Aaron Polkinghorn, great name. Just started to get back into Marvel cards with my 3-year-old son. Free! My goodness me, Checky doesn't eat them. Been opening Spidey metal blasters of late. Our goal is just to open packs and blasters as we can get our hands on them. Having fun doing so. He loves Spidey and I'm a Wolverine fan. We also collect basketball cards.
Nice.
That's cool. I mean, those Spidey blasters, so many people are kind of still like snapping them up when they see them.
I predicted right by doing that.
And there is another set coming with blasters. I'm not going to say it because it hasn't been publicly announced as we record, but we know it's coming. So yeah, exciting. Very, very imminently coming as well. So hopefully by the time this drops, people will know about it because they'll have announced it. But yeah, I'm super.
It'll be really cool.
Super excited. I can't even begin to.
It's going to be fun.
I don't think Aaron had any tips for newbies. He didn't, no, but that's okay because he's got a newbie in the house by the sounds of it. So I can never pronounce this guy's name, and he's a massive collector. He's been around for the longest time. Thuy. Is that Toy or Thuy?
I don't know
How do you
either.
pronounce
He's
that?
so nice. I've known him
He's
forever.
a lovely guy.
I don't remember how to say it.
He's got some stuff. Oh my goodness.
He's got crazy stuff.
He's got some really good stuff. He's got like autos that make you just weep and sit up.
And he's a good, he knows what he's doing.
Psylocke collector.
That's right.
Big time.
I forgot about
collector.
that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Lovely focus. A lovely guy. Anyway, his goal and possibly advice actually is stay focused. That's it. So, I mean, that's
I really like that.
Really good advice as well.
I really like that.
These start to get into kind of these are just the general ones, and then we kind of start to get into more categories.
Yeah.
Of advice and kind of goals, which I think is really interesting. Actually, the first one is I've just broadly titled this finesse for the sake of argument. Tucker OG. I'm assuming that means he's the OG Tucker. Yes, Tucker. And Tucker OG isn't his real name. Part of his name is Tucker because he sent me something. He sent me a he sent me something for free. What did he send me? It was really amazing. He got my address off someone else, and I had like this envelope arrive 10 days ago.
That's
He
awesome.
just had a couple of Panini Spidey cards in because I was going for the set,
cool.
and he's been buying the
What a
packs.
nice
But anyway, really sweet guy. So thank you, Tucker, for that.
He's been around. I feel like I know who it is.
Yeah, no, he's big into Spidey 2099.
I'm trying to remember. That's it.
And
That's it.
I think Scarlet Spider as well. I think he does both.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think he does both. Anyway, getting more Spidey cards, spending more on PC items, and spending less on the hot set of the week. So that's
Genius.
kind of on the staying focused line. Interestingly, Rob Noel, now that I've organized my collection style more efficiently, I will be honing in on some of the less common Daredevil and Scarlet Witch cards. So I like this. I like the fact that people have kind of being, stay on target, I guess, the whole Red 5.
I think I think what came out of the whole like pump, crazy pricing, influx audience of Marvel cards is that everyone now, new and old, are kind of like looking at their collection and shifting things and trying to like figure out what their collections look like and what they're going to be. I mean, I don't know if I've talked about this before, so tell me if I have, Ian, but like I imagine the future, because I think collectibles will, go down a little bit. I'm assuming. I don't know. I've never been able to accurately gauge it or predict it, but I feel like right now there's this kind of, everyone's like, all right, let me get my treasure case together, my treasure chest. Let me make sure I get the creme of the creme of what I have in my collection and move all the other stuff off and start selling things and moving things off to the side. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I feel like that's happening on a pretty big scale.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly, in the process of
I'm with you too.
Cataloging and doing stuff. So I think people are. Andy Kerr is back. I say that because I know that he was kind of a bit quiet for a bit, and you were trying to get in touch with him. And I
tried to get in touch with him. I finally did. Luckily,
as far as what I want to do, continue collecting sketch within my normal means, i.e., eBay, Group Trade, and ComC. I'll continue to look for Premiere Gold Bust, panel sketches, 2016 gems, jambalaya, and any year PMG. So he's got quite a broad range of stuff that he goes after, and he's a big into DC sketches as well. He's got a DC sketch group. But he's always had that focus, though. I mean, he's got quite a lot of irons in the fire, but he's always been pretty good at sticking.
He doesn't deviate. He doesn't really deviate. Strong. Yeah.
While I'm on, actually, this was a couple of years ago now, before everything went. Otherwise, I don't think he would have done it. I don't think anyone would have done it. When you could buy them for like $20 and stuff like that, he gave me, I think it was my red Black Cat PMG from Spidey.
From what year?
Spider-Man, 2017.
17.
Well, she's only had, yeah. She's only had, well, I say she's only had one PMG, but of course there's Spidey Metal, but I'm not sure in my head that I think of that as a PMG, even though it had a red and a green, but because I don't own it. So the only one that counts to me is the one I own.
I don't own it.
Because I don't own it. Doesn't
I don't
exist.
really count it.
It's dead to me. It's dead to me.
I love it.
So I'm trying to move my head over here because this room, because all of a sudden I've got a newer laptop with a camera in a decent place, high resolution. It's picking up more of the room, and the room's just got crap in it. I've got all this like stuff up on the wall behind me.
We've
not painted in here. We've not painted it. Well, yeah, we're having our bathroom remodeled. So there's so much stuff in this room that shouldn't be in here. And I haven't painted this room yet. So my background is terrible. So I'm trying to move over here so that I'm blocking all the stuff. Like this. This is why I keep doing this, because I keep spotting I've drifted back over this way, and then I suddenly pull it back. Anyway, the next kind of Mr. Davo, diversity. Back to comic grails. Play with some Jap cards and seriously sort my Pokemon, Marvel, and Star Wars cards before adding to my collection. That's interesting. So he's got quite a lot of breadth there, but before he's adding to it, he wants to sort it and take stock. And I've noticed a theme there. Lots of people kind of taking stock.
I'm telling you, man, a lot of people are taking stock of what they have, seeing what they like, seeing what they want to keep forever.
Yeah, there's some really good advice here. Now, Andy Kerr actually gave some. The advice bit is going to be good. I'm going to skip through the goals. I'm going to go back to the advice for newbies bit in a minute because I was flipping between the two, but it's just impossible. A few people talking about storage. PJ Ryan, maybe take a look at storage options. Always being a headline binder guy. Is headline a brand of binder, or does he mean that headliner is his number one choice? Not sure what that means. Anyway, who knows? But Chris Elliott is aiming to organise his 2016, 2018 and 2020 MM while patiently waiting for the next MM release. And a few people have mentioned that. Steve Amato's goal is to save money for Masterpieces 22, which is so last year, darling. Then get my cardboard sign ready to sit outside Walmart after I spend more than I should.
I love it. We should just send each other cardboard boxes for Christmas, just in case.
You know, the boxes that you get 12 boxes of Masterpieces, they come in the outer box. You know, that grey, that brown box. The thing is, if it fits, it sits. So, you know, as we always say about the cat.
Cut out a little window, you're good to go.
Exactly. Sorry, I've just got to wipe my nose. Apologies, it's cold.
Oh, man, I want the next MM series. That's going to be fun.
Don't we all? Bryce Morville. Bryce Morville, his goals are reduce spending drastically, try not to get pulled into beginnings too hard, and patiently await 2030 Marvel Masterpieces. I love it, 2030 Masterpieces. There's quite a lot of mentions of Marvel Masterpieces, actually. Daniel Yee has touched on the economy, actually. He says, with the recession looming, got to stay tight, Marvel Masterpieces 2023 only, and a select few Marvel Unbound cards. So that's focus. Again, it's focus. You know, that's what people are, you know, the overrhyming theme is focus. Steve Hancho also doesn't want to spend too much in 2023, but does want a white Vision Bettany auto from the WandaVision set. Who doesn't?
That's a good card. That would be a cool card.
Yeah, they look really cool. I'm really excited about that set. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Bob Feller simply said, sell.
Ooh, Bob. Bob coming with a hard hammer. Sell what, though?
Don't know.
He wants to sell. He's pretty serious about the collections he was putting together.
He is, absolutely.
I'm surprised he said that.
This next section, interestingly, I've called Modern Nonsense because I'm going to murder your pronunciation of your name here. I think it's Wojciech Hojdish or something like that. I'm sorry, that's terrible. Says he wants to finish up some PC goals and take a break from all the modern nonsense. It's like, okay, there's a hard line in the sand because some people don't dig it, you know.
There's a lot of modern. I think the modern nonsense, and I don't know what he's referring to, but in my head it translates to 20 parallels of one card. That drives me nuts.
Potentially, some people really dig it. So you know, but a lot of people don't, us included. So I'm all up for parallels of cards. I mean, we've had parallels of cards since the 90s. You know, with the gold signature.
Yeah, thing. Of course.
That's just base and a parallel, and free. Works okay. I mean, you had 3. I think, technically speaking, you had 6 for Flea Ultra Spider-Man 2017. That was tough enough.
Yeah, that was hard.
Because you had base,
2 of those
silver base. You had base rainbow.
Yeah, but some of those were EPAC achievements, so they weren't in the box.
Oh yeah. I'm just thinking.
I get what you mean.
Regardless of source, yeah, and none of them were numbered. So there is that.
Yeah, no. Well, I think here's the thing. I would love parallels because I don't know who posted the picture, but they showed a full rainbow of the 2020 Spider-Man medal of a character they did. It was so cool, and they did it angled, and I thought it came out really well. Wish I could remember to give them credit.
I mean, listen, they look good when they're together, but
they look great when they're together. No, it's not. It's not the parallels that upset me. It's the price point to be able to enjoy the parallels. That's obviously like a little much and tough to like get my head around for a same image card.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is when I have difficulty.
It's a bit pay to play as well, isn't it? Jason Smith, stay away from EPAC, far away. ... And Andy Salazar, similar vibe. Limit EPAC purchasing, sell duplicates and miscellaneous singles. Add 2016 and more 13-15 Marvel Retro to the collection. So he's got a path that he wants to go. Basically, I think a lot of people, the vibe I get from a lot of the other comments I haven't included here as well is that people feel that they get a lot of people have been burnt by getting caught in that FOMO of a new set on EPAC and spent money they didn't plan to. I mean, Brad Galley commented the other week he went and spent way too much on Marvel Goodwin's Champions simply because I think there's just nothing else going on. He just needed to scratch that itch.
The desperation,
and buyer's remorse is set in now, which is good. There's a couple of Moon Knight collectors out there now, which is really cool to see. Actually,
that's been building, which is pretty crazy.
Well, there's a guy he's like you. I don't know what his real name is, but he's like you in that his name is on Facebook is Mark Spector, so it's his character's name.
Good man.
For all I know, he's called Steve, so we'll call him Steve. I got a taste of commissioned sketch cards from APs and blanks at the end of this year, and in the new year, I hope to continue that journey. And Daniel Dunn, I think he's Valor Comic Services on Instagram.
Yeah, he's he helped me out with my Surfer one. He's so nice.
He's on a journey today. He's posted a great question on the group, MCW group. If Bill Sinkovich had ever done sketch cards. And of course, we know I had to rack my brains because we spoke to Bill. And so I did know the answer and I'd forgotten it. But Bill Sienkiewicz did one single pack inserted sketch card for Masterpieces 2007. And I think a few APs, but that was it. But the other set that he did sketch cards for was for the Ultra Spider-Man 97, the first set, Marvel set to ever have pack insert sketch cards.
I don't remember if he's been in two. I don't know if he's been in MCC 98.
No, he wasn't. Check. No, he wasn't. Because after this was this morning, and me and a few others went on a deep dive, and so I think
you guys have a comprehensive list.
There's one. It's on Blowout. We linked to it on Blowout. So if you look at the post,
I know what list you're looking at. I know what list you're looking at. Just making sure. I thought you guys had a better list, and I was like, "Oh shit, there's some good stuff."
No. The list is life.
That's what it is.
I'm not sure that's a cool movie to paraphrase. Anyway, Daniel Dunn wants to get off his bum and commit to the artist I genuinely want APs for I would like to have in my collection. Great support. Seriously, these artists, some of them aren't getting paid properly or at all, and for various reasons. So, if you can help out an artist with an AP, can I just say, Chris Foreman, great artist, really, really nice guy. In particular, has had some sort of expense recently. I think it might be a medical bill or something like that. So he's he does really good PSCs. So just go and get a PSC off Chris Foreman. I mean, that's generally the case with any artist, but I just came to mind that these guys are part of the community
Chris
as well.
Does great stuff too.
Chris does really good stuff.
Really good stuff.
At least, and this is having said that, I'm now going to sound like I'm going to pour wheel over that. I'm not saying that at all, but I am about to sell at least one sketch by him in my offering.
That's good. Well, someone who wants to Chris Foreman. I mean, you're getting a good one.
I've got a really nice double panel Marvel Premiere that's going on the chopping block.
I killed it. So, that's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's a great sketch. Just doesn't fit with my collection. I'm not a massive fan of multi panels. I've managed to get a quad.
They're tough, man.
Yeah, I got a quad off Matt Fuller last year, and I love it dearly. But it's a bugger to store.
It's a mother, yeah,
absolute bugger to store. But it's
Yeah.
staying in the 79 because it's just gorgeous. Anyway,
actually, the only premiere panel double, whatever they're called, thing I have for Surfer, I just got one. Haven't posted it yet, but it's by the artist who worked on 2012 Marvel Premiere.
Oh, nice!
And it's a pack pulled one, and it's of Surfer. And it's really crazy. It's really cool to see his style on a sketch card. But anytime I can get a sketch card by the artist who worked on the set, when it's an OA set for their OA sense as the artist who did the OA intentionally for cards, I always pick it up. I got really lucky with it too. I really appreciate the person who sold it.
That's good. It's very interesting because that first set was original art, as in it was it was physical art, but I certainly for 2017 and 2019. I'm not sure about 2014, but Premiere is digital art.
They got digital real quick, and the color. I think the color's digital too, right? A gentleman posted some of the original art recently.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, it's
stuff.
like Fleer Ultra. Well, I think it depends on the artist as well, actually, because Kao Kakao, who did he
did pencils,
the Black Cat,
and then did digital,
and then he scans it in and then he colors it digitally. So he's a two-step. So some artists use both mediums.
Some artists do that, yeah. Makes sense.
Which is really cool. But if you ever want to get a prelim or anything original art from Premiere 2019, you can't.
Yeah,
because it exists in a computer. I guess you can get an NFT, but
which is a shame.
So I'm going to jump into listen. Not my bag, but some people dig it. Some people make an entire livelihood out of it. So cool. So we're now firmly in advice zone here. There's some really good advice from people, but a lot of it's much more longer form. Ben Lee, really nice guy.
Super nice.
Be kind to fellow traders on EPAC and in the groups, and follow the lead of the better collectors on here. So that's interesting. That is. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I like that. That's
and on this wavelength,
very smart.
Because someone said, getting to know your fellow card collectors. Jacob Moore has said, biggest tip for anyone new in the hobby is make friends if possible. That to me is the best part of the hobby. And it absolutely is,
Without a doubt.
So yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. Honestly, the hobby is just not as fun without doing that.
No, exactly. Rick Ortiz, I like Rick. Research and remember it's a hobby. It's a hobby. It's fun. Brandon,
but he's right on research.
Brandon Cronin is a really lovely guy. Big MM20 collector. Advice for newbies: if you really deep down love these Marvel cards, you're going to have a great time collecting. But if you're really deep down just trying to make money off your cards, that's a recipe for anxiety and disappointment. Take a chance and buy some cards you think look nice but that you haven't seen in hand. Once you see some of these cards in hand, you'll understand the price point. Photos and videos rarely do them justice. Rarely do them justice. I mean, my goodness. I'm going to touch on the Goad method. Dennis. Someone needs to hire Dennis and get him to photograph cards for the EPAC scans.
That's right. He does great.
Because his method that he's posted on his YouTube, and I will put a link to it in the show notes.
Yeah, with the ring light. Yeah.
He's got he was showing photos for like a good few months before we had him on the show. You couldn't make that episode. It was the Flair Roundtable retrospective.
I remember.
And he was talking about it then, but then he did a video showing how he did it. Because everyone was saying, how are you taking these photos? They look so cool. And he's just from trial and error, really just found a way to make the cards look really cool without spending an absolute fortune on a setup.
Smart.
And it looks really cool. And someone did it yesterday. Someone posted a photo of a card. I read this morning while bleary-eyed before I'd had coffee, half hanging out of bed. Someone had done a photo of a card. No, a video of a card, and they'd used his method, but they moved the light ring around so that you would see the absolute full effect of the foil. So they're not moving the card. They're moving the light source. Yeah, but they weren't even moving it side to side. They were just...
No, they're probably just going like that.
They were raising and lowering it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just looked absolutely amazing. It really cool. So I'm going to... One thing
that's really cool.
When I get the studio done in there, I'm going to be getting a light ring for there, obviously.
I know. I should buy one. The one I have is too small.
You do have one, don't you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the problem with mine is that because the ring is so small, when you put the camera there and you have the card... What ends up happening, you have problems. You know that, right? Like
I'm not talking about your small ring. What's that? Sorry.
Ring's too small. So the problem is that unless it's like has a bigger diameter, I can't seem to get the right angle on the card. So I have to buy a different one, but I'm not spending the money.
I'm sorry. I think also as well, if you've got a light ring that's too small, and the phone's huge, because most phones are really big these days.
You know what? yeah, move on. We're moving on. You've ruined this completely. Worst.
Brandon
worst.
goes on. Brandon goes on. Bless him. He's written a novel here. Have fun checking out cards on ComC. You can click on the Include Sold App button on the left side of the screen, see anything that might be missing from the set you're browsing. So that's pretty cool, because if you're not, ePack has got this rather handy checklist thing.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I can't remember if you can access that without having an ePack account, but an ePack account is free, so it shouldn't be a barrier to you. But on ComC, Include Sold Out is absolutely valuable.
ComC's awesome. I use ComC all the time.
Thing is, you can see, especially if you're looking for really rare one-of-one stuff, you can see if it's actually come up, been on market and sold. In which case, okay, it's not sitting in a box somewhere. It's out there, even though it might be in someone else. So I know and have known, because it was on ComC and sold well over 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago at this point, the gold one-of-one PMG for Black Cat from Fleer Ultra Spider-Man 2017. I think it got pulled pretty quickly once it came out on ePack. So that, and for a ridiculously good price as well. As in, if you compare it to prices now, it was less than you'd pay for a blue PMG.
A lot
in the
of
hundreds,
stuff,
not in the thousands.
Well, that's what happens when a lot of the stuff first hits, like any other card that gets expensive. You know what I mean? People pull it, they throw it up there, and whoever grabs it and doesn't want to sell it, then it starts becoming expensive.
Someone asked, and I've no idea where that card is, by the way, but someone asked me when I posted my PMG Rainbow from Fleer Ultra Spider-Man 2017 earlier on. Someone asked me, I think it was Charles, actually, Stacking Gems, asked me on Instagram, don't give up the search for the gold one-of-one. And I was like, well, I kind of don't really want it, because I wouldn't be able to afford it even if it came up at this point, with what someone would want. And, I'm not going to torture myself like that. I'm happy with what I got there. My quest is over.
No,
I got three of the printing plates and everything apart from the gold one-of-one. No. So this,
I mean, I don't know. Like, I went through this with the MM16 Red Spectrum, and the person who has it's a huge Surfer fan. They're super nice. You know what I mean? They're lovely, but at one point you gotta ask yourself, am I getting this because I want to fulfill this space, or am I getting this because I'm actually interested in the card? And you know what I mean? And then when you're having to compromise on but you would ever pay on a card just to get it and just to fulfill that need doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
No.
It really doesn't. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I've the future is not going to be chasing one-of-ones. I think one-of-ones for me are just the happy circumstance. You know what I mean?
They come to you. Yeah.
You get lucky. That's it. That's it. Yeah. The whole hunting a one-on-one's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, because you have to compromise way too much on your end.
Yeah.
Just to feel good about it. And you're never going to feel good about it because you've had to over compromise to get one, You're
my one-of-one, baby. Anyway.
You're my one-of-one.
Brandon goes on. Don't buy boxes at current prices. Wait for the inevitable crash after ePacks sell out and buy singles of the cards you want. So that's great advice. And we've been saying that for ages. Just hang on.
For ages.
Wait.
Don't rush.
Until it's broken. Wait until the set's released. Wait until everyone's had their go at the trough.
Hunt on eBay. Wait on ComC and just hunt. Just be a pirate. Don't forget. You know what I mean? Don't go in there like a regular person and just buy tons of boxes if that's not the game you want to pay for.
And Robert Gordon says the same thing. Advice to new collectors would be to buy physical packs or buy aftermarket only. So he's actually basically saying don't buy digital, just buy physical. So,
I'm a little worried. I like ePack. I really do like ePack. I've always liked ePack, because it gives us an opportunity to get something that it's just not sold out in the public eye. So I really do love it, but it does worry me the amount of digital cards that are locked in with physical cards and packs. That worries me a little. I don't know how bad it will get, but I don't think, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I mean, I'm not a person who buys boxes anyway, so I'm just not the audience for that, but that does worry me.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun. It's nothing. I mean, people.
It's a good time.
Really
I mean, I love doing it. Whenever
we've had so much fun
do
with it. Yeah,
I've had a blast. That spot rainbow hunting is like one of my favorite memories in the hobby.
Yeah, for me, it was Marvel Annual 2018, 2019.
That's right. Yeah,
that was the one. I just loved that set on e-pack. I had so much fun with it. It's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Marvel. People forget that all the Marvel Annual sets were on e-pack for the longest time, and they were really, really affordable, like super affordable, and just fun. Really fun to buy into.
I really hope Surfer's in like an annual set soon or something like that, because I always was kind of jealous because you were telling me about you guys doing annual and like the pack wars and all that fun stuff back in the day that you guys were doing. Used to, not anymore. But like I was very jealous. I just didn't have anybody to hunt for, but I'm hoping soon so I can kind of get an annual in the collection that I like and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Andrew Servey, my advice for newcomers is to keep your collecting goals narrow. Create some rules for your collection, so you don't feel like you need everything. Your wallet will thank you. And then it goes a bit sad. That being said, I've seen some people leave the hobby, and I've been thinking of doing the same. A lot of little things have gone into the decision, one being Upper Deck. The biggest is by leaving, I can focus on new goals like learning to play bass guitar. Not sure what to do, but I don't want to keep dumping money into this. And that's well, listen, it's great. If I think someone said just earlier, as I remember, it's just a hobby. So you can go and do other stuff with your free time. But Andrew has subsequently started selling off all his stuff. So he's decided to depart, which is a shame. But Andrew's got the most incredible collection of
so sad, man.
Sketches by Sal Diano.
Oh, that's
especially
a good one.
Spidey ones. Yeah. So he's
tough,
gone hard on that.
It's tough. Like I've had to I think I've already mentioned it on here, but like I set my years from 1976 to 2014. Like that's, and I have other stuff for Surfer, but like that's it. Like so foreign cards, sticker cards, things I've never found before. That's my jam right now. But when Surfer comes back in the sets and stuff like that, I'm not playing that game. I'll buy what comes to me. You know what I mean? But I'm not playing the game at certain levels.
I think basically, your view is very much like mine became with Spidey Metal, is that gone are the days of got to catch them all.
That's over.
Just can't do it. Yeah. Just can't do it. Can't do it.
It's not worth it to me. It's not. Well, it's not a bad thing. I'm glad people are enjoying it, and that's good for other collectors. But for me, it got to the point where it's not as fun having to play and compete and be so physically upset by like dumb stuff. That's just not worth it at all. So I understand where Andrew's coming from. It's a shame he's selling stuff. Hopefully he keeps stuff that he really likes and can enjoy the smaller collection. But
I think so.
Poor guy.
Which brings us nicely on to, it's like we rehearsed it, Andy Kerr. And I love this. This actually prompted a whole separate discussion between collectors on the group. I think some good advice is to just cherish what you already have. Ask yourself, is this a contest? Which it's not. But if it was, how would you, me, and we ever judge a winner?
There's no judging. Yeah. There's no collection that's better than somebody else's. I've seen so many different collections. So has Ian. I would never, ever say. The only thing I've ever said about collections in comparison with other collections were the creative decisions made on how they chose to collect. That always I feel is really interesting, but it's not a better or worse thing. It's more of just like, oh, damn, that was a really cool idea. Like when Ian told me about like the Black Cat issue and doing the sketches up to
right
that.
To 79. Yeah.
I love that. Like, so I'm doing that for 48 for Surfer. And like, you know what I mean? Like that was fun.
If it was the issue,
Yours is
it'd be
the year.
194, which is crazy. 'cause
That's
then
right.
I'd only be parting with
That's
like
insane.
10 sketches.
No, my year gives me some more, 66. So not 66, 67. I forget when
It's
FF48
60
came out.
something.
I think it's
65.
Jeez,
No, it might be
that's
66.
crazy town.
You might be
I
right.
have
I
to look.
can't remember. Who knows?
I have to look.
We're all winners if we just collect what you love. Make a new friend or two in the hobby. Share what you have in the past. In the past, the baton posts, but those past the baton posts need resurrection. Actually, people have been dropping the baton on the hashtag past the baton posting group, which we should just get back to as we see new members join every day and collect what you can't afford. Lastly, something I should focus on is getting some more cases from Hardball. So he's gone back to one of his goals. Hardball make these really good. I can't remember the guy's name now. He is in the group, but he's on eBay and he makes these really good bespoke cases, like properly high-end quality acrylic cases. Because I have so many panels that are loose. So Andy goes after those multi-panel, especially Premiere sketches, and so awesome. You have to go the bespoke route for them. He's gone on to with loads of other goal stuff, but I just wanted to stick with his advice because Adam Black, written response to Andy, says, you brought up a great point about not feeling like collecting is a competition. My resolution for collecting is to keep the sentiment in mind and also enjoy what I already had. Going forward, I would like to leave behind the consumer mentality and go forward within the hobby as an enthusiast and fan. I got into this because I'm a huge fan of the X-Men and other Marvel content. My advice to other collectors is to get away from the capitalist aspirations of collecting and maintain your enthusiasm for being a fan. A fan doesn't own everything and can't necessarily buy everything, but they enjoy and appreciate what they have. I sometimes forget to do that until I would look through my collection and see that I had amassed plenty that I should be grateful for having in my possession. And that's exactly where I am with this ComC delivery that I had. It's like, because it was remote and on a screen, I didn't have it in hand. It's like you forget, actually, now that I look at it, I've got most, apart from the short print ones, Spider-Man Homecoming relics. I think I'm missing one autograph card I needed from that set. I've got most of the Black Panther relics, save for the quads. Most of the Guardians of the Galaxy ones. Do you see what I mean? And they're all gorgeous. And now seeing them together, they are very much the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
And now I've done that, I don't feel the need to necessarily fill those holes. I mean, I've got a very short list of holes, and a lot of them are short. Like, there's a Doctor Strange one there's a dual panel Doctor Strange relic that are both Tilda Swinton, but just different outfits. But they're really
ancient one, and she's that's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen that
so
one. Yeah,
AO, AO is the card designation, and it's just really difficult to get because there weren't that many of them.
Damn, that's awesome.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That's I don't know, man. Like, honestly, I have I've showed you guys, but I have the display thing. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Sorry for the blanket, but I have the display thing there.
You sleeping in there again?
No, Emily. So this is so I turned my office to like a home theater because we don't have much money, but I put a TV in here and a comfy couch. So Emily and I cozy up and watch movies. So we hold over here. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. It's cool to like have her in here and we hang out and stuff. But I have the display case and I rotate stuff out.
Nice.
It really helps. Like, I forget what's in there because I put it in the closet and then I rotate it out. And it's just like I get to have this kind of like, what is it called? Like I'm resetted. You know what I mean? I don't feel so like I'm only hunting. It doesn't feel like I'm getting something out of the mail, throwing it in a box, and then moving on to the next thing. It's kind of this little practice. That's
exactly what I want to do in the studio. I'm going to have a little.
That's the way to do it. It's nice.
I'm just going to rotate PSA ones that'll be on display.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. Like graded stuff. I remember someone in Hawaii, not our buddy, our very good buddy in Hawaii, but someone else was. Chris is just the best. But somebody else who was like a Magic the Gathering person, they had their whole studio basement thing like you're doing, and they had these pieces of wood that came out of the wall a little bit, and they just like put all their graded cards tilted on all, and it just filled the whole space, and it didn't require like all this glass and all this other shit. but none of those cases are UV protected, which is the scary part. But so be careful. I don't think any grading company has UV protected glass or acrylics. But it was really cool how they did it. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I don't do that because, I just have the little case, and if I have too much around me, it makes me anxiety. But that sounds awesome, Ian. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, mine will be a windowless room pretty much. So
you told me, you're
I'm less
solid.
worried about the UV.
So at all.
I am. Thanks. Anyway, so the next bit was Adam Black continues. My advice. Lastly, don't overspend. Some cards do get gobbled up by whales, but for the most part, every card eventually becomes more affordable than during the first year of its release. So it just circles back to that whole patience thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Just hang tight.
The only thing that's ever been stuff that I miss, I don't want to talk about it too much because then people are going to think I'm hyping stuff, and I don't want to hype anything. But you know what I mean? There's some things that disappear that you have to wait 7-8 years to get again. But most of the stuff, 95% of the stuff always comes back around. Whatever price it comes back, you eventually see some rendition of it back on eBay, or someone, wants to let it go. People recycle their collections, man. It's there are a lot of people out there that just don't ever sell.
No.
But, those are very specific types of collections too, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know that there are sketches I'm about to part with, and someone will say, I saw that disappear on eBay years ago, and now I've got a chance.
I love that.
Do you see what I mean? So
it's the best.
As long as
it's nice.
That'll be a good thing to do.
Giving back to the community, man. That's good.
Exactly. But it's recycling. It's kind of like when we die and our nutrients, bodies go into the soil and become, we become plants and things like that.
Yeah, we do become plants.
We do become
stars.
Plants.
Yeah.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, my friend.
Age of Aquarius.
Can we grow long hair and dance around naked?
Aquarius. I think about the 40-year-old virgin every time I think about that. Sorry. It's just such a good scene.
I don't think I've seen
such a good scene.
That's the Steve Carell one, yeah?
Yeah. So it's, I won't ruin it, but it's funny.
Yeah. It's been out quite a while, so I don't think there's any, I think the statute of limitations.
The song comes out, if you know the title of the movie, the song comes out after he has sex for the first time, and it's just a whole musical production thing, and it's just the best. It's just
cool.
Stupid funny.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Any film that has a musical production piece, or in the case of Anchorman, a battle scene with people on horses and tridents. What's that all about?
So good.
In the middle of Anchorman, it just happens out of nowhere. Someone's got a trident. Michael Clark, my advice is to be patient. Again, this is people in the group. We didn't, apart from asking the question, we didn't solicit this. So it's very interesting that so many people are on the same thing. Don't expect everything to come to you right away. The cards you're looking for are out there. They're out there somewhere. There are people out there as well. What? There are people out there willing to strike a deal for these cards. Oh, see? Perspective. So the rest of the sentence is always good.
Yeah.
You can and probably will regret something you purchased. Don't let it get you down. Put it aside and move on. You learn from your mistakes. Listen to all the wonderful advice given here today from this group and you'll be fine. Brilliant.
That's the good thing about the group, though, man. That's what you need that kind of stuff for. Because it's so funny how stuff hits you differently when you're at different points of your collecting. You know what I mean?
Whatever phase you're at.
Whatever it's called. Whatever phase you're at, whatever one of the 5 phases you're at. Advice just hits differently. You know what I mean? I'm sure in 2-3 years, someone's advice will hit me differently than it had today. You know what I mean? That's what's so fun about that.
Absolutely. Steve Amato said loads, actually, but I'm going to pick because some of this has been repeated. But I think it's worth reiterating. Don't be a D-bag. Be cool and respectful, and it will be returned to you.
That's why I love Steve.
Exactly. From Michael Spina. His goal is more character-specific collecting, promos, etc. His advice to newbies is collect your way. No one does it right or wrong. Meet 10 people and they have 10 different styles. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Collect what you love. Also, let go of the FOMO. The cards will come back around again and most likely cheaper. And lastly, condition, condition, condition. Ask for more pictures and pass if you aren't 100% sure. More work and more money to do condition upgrades later on. And have fun. None of us are retiring off the money we could make. It's a hobby, plain and simple. Something to enjoy. We were talking about Fred Ian earlier on. And Unbound. And tomorrow is Carnage. Tomorrow as we record. So this will be out on Thursday. So yeah. So we'll still be in the week of Carnage. Do you want to build a Carnage Lego minifig?
Oh, I'm totally in. Oh, that's fun.
Isn't that cool? It comes with a magazine.
That's awesome.
So you get them in stores in the UK. So it's basically it's taped to the front. So this is this month.
Oh, that's cool.
And you get Marvel Lego Spider-Man. There's also an Avengers one. So Marvel I got when I did the episode it's kind of like a comic. It's got like Lego.
I miss Wizard in there. I miss Marvel magazines.
I mean, this is really thin. It's like $5. It's for kids.
No, I know.
For kids. But the one I got out last time, and I built this. Who did I build this with? It was J.P. Trinette's. That's right. The Thanos.
Oh, nice.
That was the episode you couldn't make. And there's Thanos.
Cute.
Isn't that cool? Look at him.
Wow, that's big.
His little helmet, yeah. But the thing is, his Infinity Gauntlet, because he's got such diddy hands, only got room for 3 gems on it. So there's a spare Infinity Gauntlet in there for his other hand.
No, that's hilarious. To make one Infinity Gauntlet, that's so awesome.
For some reason, this particular kit, because I know there are kits out there that have a larger thing, but look, there's another little Infinity Gauntlet for his other hand. Should he put his massive great knife down? Anyway,
cute.
And then I went out and I bought these really cool. Let me show you these. Where are they? I bought these really cool little minifig display things, like they're official Lego.
Damn, that's actually really nice.
Yeah, and you basically it's got like a thing on the back there where you can put it on a hook on the wall. You can see one.
Oh,
there.
Damn! I actually really like that.
And then it just got a door that opens.
What is that called officially? I need that.
It's a minifig display. You'll find it on Amazon. It's got a removable. It's got like a little lid in here, and you can take out.
Oh, come on!
It's great, but it's really good. But the thing is, Thanos' weapon's too big, so it can't go in there.
Oh, that's so funny. I really love that.
Let's see if Carnage will likely fit in there. Let's open it up.
I had a blast building my helmet, Mando.
You did? Well, that's a big. Yeah, I don't do the big scale stuff. I just do the minifigs.
It's not that big. It's like no, I can't twist it, but it's there.
Right, there we go. Right, let's go in. I'm just gonna do this into my hand. So, oh my goodness, there's an awful lot of pieces for a minifig. Oh,
you gotta get his tentacles.
Yeah, I know, but there's my goodness. No, it's empty now. That's good. Right. Now I realise that this isn't. So let me just do this so you can see it. There we go.
Ah, cool.
Phone out of the way. See, that's the joys of having this right. So the easy bit. This is legs. We do that. He's got this like pattern on his thing.
Oh, I love that.
Hilarious. And then what's this? Hang on a sec. So let me look at the picture because there's no instructions with it. Oh, I see. So this goes over there like that.
Right.
Yeah. And then his head goes
all the tentacles.
And that's what carries all the tentacle thing. Oh, I've got to turn his face around. There we go. There he is so far.
Carnage.
Okay. And then this is where the tentacle things go.
That's my
okay.
Best friend growing up's favorite character other than Archangel. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He has a great story. So his name is Angelo. We grew up together. It's like Angelo and Anthony are like my two best, like they're basically my family. They're brothers.
Yeah.
Because we grew up together. So Angelo, poor guy. His mom's very religious.
Oh, right. Okay.
And wouldn't let him have any of this stuff in the house. And of course, his favorite Marvel characters were Archangel.
Oh, you're kidding.
And Carnage. So he would have to hide all of his cards. I would have to hold him at my house for.
Right.
And he had an awesome collection. This is like, because we were like young, 7, 8, 9. We were both collecting Marvel cards at the time. It was great. But he had a character collection of Carnage and Archangel.
This thing is huge. It's never going to fit in that case.
That's what she said.
Look at it.
That's really cool. You bought that display and now both of your figures don't fit in it.
Well, yeah, I've got loads of other figures that I haven't gotten out yet. But yeah, to be fair, most of the Marvel ones won't because they've got like extra stuff going on.
Man, I want to see a surfer one. They haven't
Isn't
done
that
a
cool?
surfer
No,
one.
they haven't done a surfer one yet that I've seen anyway.
No, they haven't.
I'm not sure. I was going to say, because you've got the Marvel Spider-Man Lego one, which is this come from, and then you've got the Marvel Avengers one, and he wouldn't fit with either, really. But
Wow, that's so cool.
bonkers. Isn't that good?
I love it.
Try and stand him up. Hang on. He's a bit...
Well,
he's a
that's
little
what
bit
you have
top-heavy.
those platforms for in your display.
Well, yeah, but there we go.
Oh, there you go. You got him.
Carnage.
He looks so cool. Carnage.
That is pretty good.
probably-
I could probably... Yeah, I don't know. He certainly won't fit in. Hang on, let's go and get it. Let's go and get it.
That's actually a really great minifig, though.
It is a really good minifig.
Can you take out the dividers?
No, that's all structural.
Oh, man, I dig that.
He ain't fitting in there, even if I put his things forward.
Have them on the top, like they did in
There's nothing for him to peg onto, though. It's not.
Oh, damn! I was gonna say make it like the animated series. Have them on the building.
Yeah, could do. But this is really cool. I mean, if you got just like regular ones, like the town ones and things like that.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
But it is really cool.
Mando.
It is really cool.
I love it.
But there we go. From
I
Carnage.
didn't know the tentacles moved forward too. That's cool.
Yeah. No, they do all sorts.
Oh, that's so sick.
Because it's kind of hinged onto this thing that goes on his back.
I need a surfer, man. Come on.
Look at
Help me out, Lego.
Well, basically, I've got there. Black Cat has been in an official kit. She was in the Daily
Ooh.
Bugle kit, the Daily Bugle set, but the Daily Bugle set
Oh.
is it's super expensive. It's like three figures because it's got like about 20 different figures in it.
Yeah.
Because it is a whole big building that's probably
that's cool.
about half a meter tall, and then there's loads of figures and stuff hanging on, like Spidey's hanging from the roof, and there's Doc Ock and all that. So Black Cat is part of that. So you do get people who buy Lego kits like that and sell off the minifigs on eBay.
That's
so
cool.
I could quite happily pick one up for maybe like $20 or something, because that's obviously they're kind of, I guess they're resellers in that sense. So I'm going to put him back in his little bag so that he doesn't get lost, and I have to take his tentacles off to do that. He could go in there without the tentacles, I guess. I could put him in there
lay
without.
the tentacles down.
I could do, yeah. I could do something around them. They might fit to the baseball.
Like have them
anyway,
going upwards or something.
but I'll put that away for now, because otherwise it'll get lost in all the chaos of remodeling. But the Black Cat. But when I went to the Boston Fan Expo, there was a very near the beginning of the thing. People were selling custom Lego minifigs.
Oh, that's cool.
So they'd made like Black Cat. There was a Ghost Spider. And I'm pretty sure there might well have been.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a surfer
because
custom.
you think about the number of different minifigs there are. They just have these things in by the thousand, and then they make
custom
their
paint
own.
jobs, decals, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you can probably get a custom, but
I'm sure.
If you're anything like me, you'll want the official one. Having said that, I did pay $5 for a Spider Gwen for my daughter and $5 for a Black Cat for me. So
that's awesome.
That was cool.
That's really cool.
So next week's episode will be the long-awaited Webby Vision episode that we recorded before Christmas.
Webby.
So this is kind of the end of our trilogy, our State of the Hobby trilogy. But comment or email or send us a DM or whatever with your state of the hobby, how you perceive it, because I'm more than happy to drop in other kind of viewpoints, other kind of bits of feedback on it. Also, I am going to touch on something that someone did send me on Twitter, because I said I would. It might actually be its own episode. Yeah, it's going to be its own episode. So Steve on Twitter at Steve67699482. That you got to work on your branding there, Steve. Sorry. Bless him. We're going to pick up your question on a different episode. And then there's another guy, Jedi Knight 422, who goes by Jedi 22, sent me the following. Hi, recently started listening to you guys and came across the Silver Surfer statue, and I thought you'd be interested in seeing it. It's located in the Lawrenceville location of Galactic Quest comic shop. And there it is.
Yeah, Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's cool.
So you're familiar with it. I had a feeling you'd probably be familiar with it.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that, my friend. Yeah, that's from the movie Rise of the Silver Surfer. That was the theater display.
Ah, right. Yeah. That's right. Someone sent a pic of that before, didn't they? It's huge. That's right.
Yeah.
You also introduced me to Comic Cuts cards. I haven't snagged one yet, but will definitely be adding one to my collection. Not sure you had picked one up after hearing about the lost opportunity on eBay, but just noticed this one pop up, and I think it's Black Cat. And indeed it is. And he sent me the link. So that's really sweet of you. So Jedi 22, whose bio says Star Wars fan, just trying to keep up with the latest news and escape reality here and there.
Good man.
He's only got 11 followers on Instagram, on Twitter. So send him a follow, folks, at Jedi Knight 422. He's a lovely guy. So thank you for that, Jed. We'll call him Jed for the purposes of this. We had other stuff, but I'm not going to bore you with it now. I'll actually find it and get it into some concise format. So Webby Vision next week. And then I'm hoping that we're going to talk about in a moment once we stop recording. I'm hoping we'll have a guest.
Ooh.
Fingers crossed. And we've definitely got a box opening coming up as well.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, good.
So lots of exciting stuff.
All right, well, I hope everyone's enjoyed the episode. We've enjoyed you guys, and enjoy collecting.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. Tasting notes and visuals for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. We're on most social media at the MCC Pod, and you can also watch the video of each episode recording on our YouTube channel. Leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you find us. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use on our audio version is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.